Hey gamers, welcome to the Part-Time Gamers Club where we game part-time but support gaming all the time. For those of you tuning back in, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. And if it's your first time here, I'm Gio. Alongside me is Gerard. And on today's episode, we're going to be discussing Borderlands 4 and all the backlash behind it. Let's get to it.
Borderlands 4, for all intents and purposes, the backlash that we have, and I would like to pretense the backlash we have about it, not even anything about the gameplay. Nothing about, like, internal game itself. It is more of the people that work on the game, more importantly, the CEO that talked about it. And this happens to be another interest or another proof, evidence, you would say, that they just are caring less and less about the consumer, or at least feeling less empathetic. I don't want to say care, but like it's hard to feel that way from what we get. So to like bring up to context, recently on, I believe it was X or Bluebird, one of the two.
Twitter, you mean? Bluebird?
No, Bluebird is a different thing.
Okay, it was Twitter though, or X.
X. Anyway, or not Bluebird, Blue Sky. And the you threw me off. Someone was reaching out. Randy was reaching out to, or excuse me, I say reaching out, but like fellow Borderlands 4 person. Joined the game, saw the industry doing what it's doing, is bringing up pricing of games, reaches out on X, tags them, and like, hey, make sure that Borderlands 4 isn't an $80 game, because like we as the consumers are really tired of like the industry marking up the games like no justifications or like very little and saying things like that. And the CEO responded with two points. Like, one, I don't have a call in that on like what's the price of the game, and two, even if it was priced at $80, if you were a true fan of the game, you'd be able to afford it. And I'm paraphrasing the second one, because it was a long list of like how he was able to afford an $80 game back when he was growing up, and how he did it off of a job, like a minimum wage job. But like, one, insensitive to bring that up, because like you're comparing something that you could do in the past but no longer can do, but you are still assuming the variables are the same and everyone is similar to your life situation. But two, if you don't have any call in the matter, you should not need to have anything else to add to that matter. If you're like bringing up anything like, hey, he should have just left that at point one. He's like, I don't have a call in that matter. I mean, he could have just said simply that, and that would have been fine. Yeah.
It would have been the end of it. You wouldn't have all this backlash going on now. And it's kind of unfortunate because I was kind of looking forward to Borderlands 4. But now because of his remarks, I'm kind of like, nah, you know what? I could get it. It's not the problem. I'm not going to now out of principle.
Yeah.
I'll wait till it goes on sale.
Yeah. And that's what I was thinking. I was like, you not only, okay, if it was an $80 game, okay, people that couldn't afford it or didn't want to buy it at that price point wouldn't have bought it anyway, right? But now, if it was $80 and people that could afford it might not still get it because you gave them another reason not to. And like, this is just an additional reason to not buy the game. And that's all you've done right now is, one, antagonize your community, but two, given the people that were on the fence another reason not to jump on board. It's like, I don't understand, because I don't want to say recently, before, this is something that other people have asked him, like on interviews and stuff like that. And he's basically said the exact same, like the point one. It's like, I don't get a call in that matter on what the pricing of the game is. But he's always left it up to that point. He's never gone far and beyond to antagonize people like that. And I don't. My assumption is like he's been asked this question so many times that he thought he wanted to be sassy or satirical, but then he doubles down on this, or just like, yeah. So I'm just like, okay, like I don't understand why the industry feels it so like it has to defend every decision it's making, even though like the decision that's being made is rippling across, and other companies have to defend it, defend a decision another company made. Like Nintendo is basically the reason why everyone is talking to all the game companies like, hey, a game's coming out, is it going to be $80? And they have to answer for that.
But here's the thing though. Okay, so like you said, he doubled down. So let's speak about that first before we go into Nintendo and all the $80. I guess he started trying to justify it, which really annoyed people with like saying, "Oh, it's double the price or double the budget of Borderlands 3." First off, why? Why? If Borderlands 3, from my understanding, was like $150 million budget, why would you have to make a game $300 million? How bloated is this game? What is going into this game? Because I don't expect the graphics to be that much more phenomenal and mind blowing. What are the mechanics that you're going to change or add that's going to make that much of a difference that you needed to add another $150 million to budgeting? I don't understand what went into that budgeting. But then it's like, oh, if you guys want us to make these high budget games, you got to pay. We didn't ask for that. The backlash of Borderlands 3 or critique of Borderlands 3 and why a lot of players didn't like it was because the writing of the game wasn't good. They didn't have the same dialogue. Yeah. It wasn't about mechanics. It wasn't about graphics. It wasn't about any of that stuff. So did you hire better writers? Did you need 150 million to get some better writers in there? What was the bloated budget? That's not our fault that you spent that. We're telling you there's indie games that are doing better than you and spending a lot less money. So how is it our fault and why do we got to pay for it? Because you guys decided to double that budget.
Yeah, and I think this is kind of it is the fault of like the industry itself, like CEOs and more importantly like upper management, when they use the defense like, you guys wanted higher budget games, and it's like, no, we wanted better games. We don't care if it costs money or not. And it is up to you to be the most cost efficient in making better games. Like, we're not asking you to spend more money. We're asking you to make better games. And we're not asking for that because like the last year's games were great or amazing. No, we're asking for better games because all of them fucking suck. They've all sucked. They're all you putting out piss poor like quality games. So people like indie companies who are doing like, even the ones that are not poorly optimized, the ones that don't look graphically amazing, the ones who don't have a story sometimes, those are still catching like many fans because they have passion in them, one, but two, 9 times out of 10 they hit gameplay right on the head.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it's all about, man. Like, we just want to have fun. Like you were saying before, it's their job to figure out what's making the game bad, what's bringing the critique to the players, what are the players, the majority of players. I think the problem is too, we've spoken about this a lot of times too, is these yes men that are behind them, this machine that fuels them and then calls it, what's the term they use? Toxic positivity. That's what's surrounding AAA companies, right? That's the problem. They don't want to listen to the majority. And then they want the what you call them, the writers and the journalists from these game magazines to basically hype them up. And then if you say anything in opposition, you know how it goes. So they blame the fans. They say we're, bigots or racists and all this other stuff. And it's like, man, you're the one putting all this agenda and politics and narratives in it. We're just telling you what we don't like. And then if we don't like it because you spent all this money on it, because let's be honest, that's Assassin's Creed, that's what's that other one, Dragon Age, and more, a bunch of them that have come out lately that spend these big budgets, and then it's like, you don't want to listen to us. The reason why your game is failing because you're not listening to us, and then you're trying to dictate to us. And now we got another CEO, like you said, just showing insensitive. Like he's just so disconnected. They're all so disconnected, the AAA companies, and I don't understand how they don't see it. I don't get it.
I just honestly, because like, forget about like the CEOs not being down to earth. It's just like everyone in the industry. Like, it's just so weird how is no one even talking, like, forget talking to like the community. Is no one talking to like any of their friends either? Like, you completely isolated? Like, are you working
You're surrounded by
80 hours?
yes men.
Like,
You're surrounded by yes men, bro. I promise you.
and even though like the yes men, I don't even know what yes men, like, at this point in time, like, if you have an entire industry burning around you, would you not take the moment to just question everything you do? Like, if you, even if you're surrounded by yes men, all right, you must be living either in a rock or under a rock, excuse me, not in a rock. Well, that'd be impressive, but under a rock, or like antagonizing and seeing that it's on fire and continuing to do so because you want to destroy whatever you have. Because there's no way you, even if you did not talk to any of the players, there's no way you did not see the poor reviews and the backlash and the basically hatred and rage that people were having towards other AAA games in the community. Like, you haven't seen Assassin's Creed backlash.
It's review bombing. That's not true reviews. That's just a bunch of trolls that have gotten together. The games are not bad, Gerard.
Even okay, that means if they believe that, they had to have played those games. I don't think the CEO is playing those games to make that decision. Apparently. Apparently he is not. He's got that like, oh, Assassin's Creed Shadows not that bad. Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Like,
yeah, it's great. It's got 3 million players. What are you talking about? We're doing amazing.
Yeah, like, I don't understand. Like, if you are not a gamer, then you need to look at what the gamers are saying. And if you are a gamer, you should be playing those games and seeing what's wrong. Obviously, they did not do either of those two things. Because the reason why we're like having hard press about this $80 upcharge, one, it's really expensive in a time that right now not a lot of people can spend that kind of money. But two, you're justifying a increase of $80 games when you honestly don't deserve it with how many times people put out bad games. Now, Take-Two, I believe it's not Take-Two, excuse me. The Borderlands people that make the game,
Mm-hmm.
they have, and this is me saying this in my own opinion, have not been on a craze because, like, Borderlands 3, not an amazing product.
Movie, disaster.
Yes, the movie. I don't want to talk about the movie. The movie was written by the same people that made Borderlands 3, apparently. And not literally.
Explains a lot.
Yeah, it explains a lot. But, like, you are not in a good position right now. So, obviously, why are you trying to stir up a hornet's nest? Because, like, Gearbox...
He messed it up for them, bro. He really did. And it sucks. And I just want to say this, and I'll let you go, because I know you're going to go off on this in a minute. But, bro, he fucked his development team. Like, we don't care. Now we're going to look to critique it. Now we're not going to look to support it the same way. He fucked his team, and then guess what? Who's going to get laid off? Developers.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, Gearbox right now, I don't even know what the hell they're doing. I'm pretty sure the devs right now just like I'm taking a week off. You fuck. I'm taking a week off. Delay the game, all right? We need to, like, all the time that we delay the game, that's the PR. That's going to be PR trying to fix your fuck up.
Seriously, they got to think of something, man. And then I wonder, like, don't these big companies and corporations pay for, like, PR assistants and stuff like that, try to steer them away from doing stupid stuff like this?
No, because that's his public account. That's his personal Twitter.
I know, but I'm saying, like, any of the AAA companies, all I ever see them do is double down and burn their games to the ground, and then start letting go of developers like it's their fault.
Yeah, like, I don't understand how this industry has just, like, it's one thing, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I don't understand how this industry has become so jaded that they can't seem to see that they are not an essential business. They are not essential. They think they can get away with things. They think that they can justify doing stuff when they're literally putting out a product that is made for entertainment's sake. You are not an essential product. You are not putting out energy. You are not putting out water. You are not making food. Go fuck yourself with your selfish, egotistical anecdotes about how you can afford something back then in today's economy.
Exactly. And it's like, dude, you can't compare like the way inflation was at that time and what people could afford on minimum wage compared to what they could afford now. You can't even live on minimum wage. You can't. You cannot. There's no way in today's economy you can live on minimum wage. To rent a house or apartment, pay for your car, pay for your car insurance, pay for your renter's insurance, pay for your groceries, gas money. Go out.
You should have not. You should not have, like, the people I've seen that live off minimum wage don't have a car, so they don't have to, and they literally either walk to their job or have like live with their family. So they basically they don't pay a mortgage or things like that. They still have to like pay rent, I'm assuming. I don't want to make that assumption either because they're living with their family. But there are a lot of things in order to get by on minimum wage that you have to do. And in my opinion, when you say, hey, I used to work back in an ice cream shop and to pay $80 for this game back in the 90s, I was like, man, $80 back then was really $50, okay? Right now.
I mean, it was expensive back then too.
Or not $50, $150.
At the same time, yeah. But what I'm saying is, bro, what was your bills like? Were you paying for an apartment? Were you paying for all this back then, or were you just, like you said, at your mom's place kicking it? Yeah. Like, how did you afford it? Explain, give context. If you're gonna tell us that if we're real fans, we will find a way. That's the statement that I think that bothers me the most. Yeah. If you're a real fan, you will find a way. But so it's like you can't be a real fan if you don't pay the $80?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like I can't be a real fan. Like in the way he worded it, only people who have money can be fans. You can't be a fan if you broke. Ain't no broke fans. You in poverty, you cannot be a fan to anything.
You're not in this party.
Exactly.
Either you find a way to give us your money. That's basically what he's saying. Either you find a way to give us your money, or you're not a real fan.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I was like, the only people I know that would do anything for something are addicts. Okay, heroin addicts. Yeah, even fanatics. Like I've seen some like Nintendo fanatics, and they're like, I gotta wait a week off, or I will skip food to get the game, which. I don't want to even get started about that. But
or they live off ramen for the next month.
Yeah, but like in my opinion, you're telling people you must choose either between our game or other essential things or maybe non-essential things. You shouldn't be telling them that they have to choose. You know what that is? That is an ultimatum. And you know what people say about ultimatums, especially when it's in a relationship? It's a red flag. Mm-hmm. Okay? If anyone ever gives you an ultimatum, relationship or otherwise, you should tell them, go fuck yourself.
Basically, it's true. And, I feel bad. I really do for the developers of this team. They've been working on this game probably a few years now. And I think they know the writing's on the wall. And the fact that this guy hasn't just flat out apologized. Like, you need to bite the bullet at this point, dude. You're really going to screw your whole game. You're not going to make that budget back. I promise you. Now you pissed off the gaming community, who's already pissed off at AAA companies as it is. And you just made that insensitive comment and then told them, if you're a real fan, that's where he messed up. That's really where he messed up.
Like, I'm trying to, reword it like that second point to any way that would have been redeemable.
Left it out completely like you said he was doing in the past. You just shut your mouth.
He should have not. He should have left that out completely. But I was just thinking, I was like, he could have just easily said, one, no, I don't have a call. But two, it's like, I understand if you can't afford it. Like back in my day, I had to make a choice between some things, and if he would have just said, "Hey, I've been in your shoes before," and I understand, I understand the issue, like what's going on. I was doing this, and I had to give up these things just to buy this game. That would have been relatable, but no, he went antagonistical and basically is like, "Hey, I did this. You can too," and that's what people don't like, man.
Because he talked down to people in a sense. He rode in on this high horse. You know what I mean? And that's
you know what? Man. You know what? I don't know if Gearbox is a public company, but like I do think the stockholders need to talk to him, pull him aside in the board meeting, and go like, "Yo, man,
if they are,
you need to put out a public apology, and be sincere. Otherwise, you're not getting a bonus, and we might fire you. We
might be looking for a new CEO real soon." So, well, we'll see how this turns out. I'm curious now. Is Gearbox gonna even dare touch that $80 price tag? Are they gonna make it just $70, even though some games are still struggling at $70? Which, I'll be honest, man, I'm starting to steer away from AAA too, man. I don't want to pay those prices. The only one, Gerard, the only one I'm willing to pay that kind of money for is GTA. That's just the only one. No other game, no other AAA company has that prestige of franchise right now. They just don't.
I don't know. I might pay $80 for another Metal Gear Solid if they can find Konami and Kojima could find some compromise.
Oh yeah. That'd be different. But what I'm saying is,
well, you just said any game. I was like, you know.
Yeah, but you're asking for a miracle. You want Konami and.
You said any game, and I said there are miracles that can happen.
Realistic situations. Okay, right now, you can't name a gaming franchise that has that same prestige as GTA. Just can't.
We're talking about GTA. We're talking about I'm thinking of a franchise. No. I said a franchise that is worth $80 in the period. I would pay $80 for. GTA would be one that I can understand people paying $80 for. I'm just trying to think of any franchise that I would pay $80 for. Final Fantasy, all Final Fantasy, but it has
a turn-based again.
I mean, honestly, if they did turn-based again,
I'd be in. I
was like, okay, I'll give you a shot. I mean, they won't. They still got Final Fantasy, the trilogy to finish. So,
that's something to perform, to say the least.
Well, the second one did fall hard, but like they if they can stick the landing, they could still recover. The problem is that they gotta recover.
I don't know if they can. But so, Borderlands, man, I feel like it's gonna end real bad for them. I think their CEO really screwed his team. I hate to say it. He's gonna have to bite that bullet when it fails. I don't want to hear him say review bombing. I don't want to hear none of that toxicness. Gamers want to hate
it's gonna be the review bombing. It's gonna be review bombing.
But the problem is, dude, you caused it. You have to take accountability for this. Not your team, not the budgeting you guys spent. Your dumbass remarks.
And
literally.
I need. Because I want to emphasize something that I don't think the industry seems to understand. In order for something to be reviewed bomb, that means that the game is successful and was sold high amount of copies, but on a website it was reviewed bomb because it was against some like ideological idea or some people trolling. Okay, if you are not successful and you're being like your reviews are low, you are not being reviewed bombed, man.
Well, the problem is they say the critics reviewed them high, so they are being review bombed. They don't.
I don't give a fuck what the critics say. All right, the critics are not buying the games. You gave it to them for free. All right, they didn't have any investment. Yeah, they didn't have any investment involved, man. The people who are paying money are gonna be harder critiques than people who got to play your game for free. I'd
still tell them they're trash.
I mean, still, that's what the critic's job's supposed to be. But like, I'm just saying, they have a less.
But they don't do it.
No, they don't.
Why?
But you can't hide behind people who are getting something for free. Okay.
That's true.
That's like, oh, the person I let room with me inside my house tells me I'm a great roommate. Of course, because you're fucking letting them stay there for free.
Basically. I would say you're great too if you let me live there for free.
Exactly.
But yeah, we'll see. We'll see, man. I think, like I said, I just think he messed it up for them. Well,
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see if fans are forgiving. I think the only way they'll be forgiven is if the price is not
$80.
Promise,
Yeah.
I promise you, if it's $80, is all downhill. From there.
Honestly, so here's the thing, and this is the last thing I'm going to say on this.
Mhm.
Gearbox has now been pigeonholed into something. When he said that, he actually contradicted his first point. Now he does have a say in it because you fucked them, and now they have to make a choice.
Either stand on business or cater
Yes.
to their consumer. What do you
Yes.
know? What a thought.
Yeah. So he was obviously lying about the first part. He does have a say because he can literally put out a point out, and now they're forced to do one of the two options.
He absolutely has a say, bro. He's the CEO. How do you not have a say in the price if you're the CEO, bro?
I mean, I don't know what his CEO jobs is. He's been saying for a long time he doesn't have a say in it, but I'm assuming it's because like he's left
he
the
has
job.
influence.
Yes.
He has influence, Jordan.
Oh no. I'm saying he's already said that before, and I don't remember the reasoning on why he doesn't have a say. But anyway, that's not up to us. It is up to the majority of people whether or not they'll buy Borderlands 4 later this year.
Talk with your wallets.
I mean, we'll see what happens, because if he gets fired, then Borderlands 4 could be $80 if he gets fired.
Oh, absolutely. We'll probably still pay.
Yeah.
We'll be like, yeah, you made a valid point. Maybe now you probably shook up the rest of the AAA companies.
Yeah.
Because if they don't, and we don't see you fire them, okay, don't worry. We're not going to review bomb you. We're just not going to buy your shit. We're
Exactly.
going to sit on the show.
Like, that's what it's coming down to. Make sure leave a like down below and a comment on your thoughts on the Borderlands 4 situation, and whether or not you would forgive the CEO for making that comment, no matter what he does. Apology, seppuku, something. All right, we'll see you guys next time. Peace.